What is going on, guys? It is Dylan here. Today, we'll be going over a ticker symbol analysis on the ticker symbol SMCI, Supermicro Computer Incorporated, guys. We are seeing a very tight squeeze where stock prices met at multiple different data points. We haven't seen this big of a level, really, guys, since all the way this previous breakout level stemming from this level where we rejected, guys. So, seeing stock price at such a critical area with multiple different data points conflicting to this area, you know that a big move will happen soon. With that being said, though, guys, we'll make completely unbiased throughout the video, jumping across a couple different time frames using technical analysis to predict price moving forward and getting actionable levels to watch. Let's get straight into the video, guys. Looking on the weekly analysis, we do see a 1, 2, and 3 schematic, guys. Being that stock price likes to have a nice surge up, consolidate for quite some time, and if at the top does break, you get a massive movement. All right, you've seen the volume start to amp up, and that was a sign that you do get that confirmation, guys. Once again, stock price confluencing, came down with this hammer candle, set that wick there, went right back up to the floor, being this resistance level, right, roughly around this level, rejecting, coming right down, setting one more wick on this ascending support, and collapsing, guys, once again with the volume indication. So once again, guys, we're seeing the same mirrored image on the weekly time frame, and it's so simple, but it's very important we keep an eye on this range, guys. This is effectively the number one, data point you can look on SMCI in any single time frame. Being that if we do get this breakout to the upside, even if we get a 50% move of this movement in the past or to this downside movement, we're looking at 100, 200% movement to the upside, guys. So looking right away, we're seeing bullish divergence moving up, and that's what we've been talking about on the channel, guys. We're seeing buyers step in, setting higher lows, moving closer and closer, inching to the top, being ultimately that $48 neckline area, which really is going to be the line in the sand. If stock can get above that with some volume, we could have a very explosive movement, guys. Perhaps something like this, like I said, even if it's a 50% movement of these previous breakout and breakdown of this big consolidation phase, guys, we're looking at a really meaty movement, guys. So seeing stock price have that nice big wide bar signifying buying pressure, and seeing these candles get very thin, all right, starting to curl up, things look good. As in the past, whenever we approached this resistance, we immediately got flushed out, right? In the past, we got to this resistance, candle started to thin out, and we immediately flushed down. No hard buying pressure. We had one good candle pushing into this, and then immediately, guys, we get really thin, not able to hold over that level strong, and flush. We get to that level, immediately flush. This is the one time, guys, we had a strong movement into this resistance, and once we got over it, you've seen a very sizable measurement, jumping from $48 to around that 65, having a 40% movement in 1 week. So to see stock price come all the way back down to the floor, break out of this channel, and start to move up pretty disciplined and strong, consolidating, curling up, we're definitely seeing bullish divergence, guys. Something else we want to keep note on the weekly, especially with these range breakout scenarios, is the volume. Another bullish divergence sign we see, which is why we believe stock will break out to the upside, guys, as in the past when we were in this consolidation phase. Check out the volume, guys. It was very thin, right? So now we're seeing big volume reemerge in the market at the same exact level, essentially. So you can't help but look at all the weekly signs and see that stock price is showing signs that it is a lot more probable we'll end up testing that $48 level and breaking out. And if that does happen, we'll get a massive movement to the upside. On the daily chart of SMCI, this one is very predictable, and we've seen a continual trend within the last few years or so, guys. Whenever we see a strong body bar to exit these descending channels, we see the upside, guys. When we look in the past, you've seen we had this clear descending channel, meeting the floor somewhere around here, right? This bull flag, descending wedge, whatever you want to call it, same structure, right? Sellers accumulating at these highs, and buyers at the floor. Eventually, we meet the end before we get a strong body bar exiting with a volume, signifying that this breakout is not fake. It is, in fact, a strong breakout. We see that incredible movement to the upside. Once again, guys, this flips the other way around. Stock gets super tight, consolidating within the apex of this pattern, sinking with a big body bar, signifying that sellers are serious about this downside. Well, luckily for the bulls, guys, we did see that big body bar break out of this descending channel with that triple bottom on the support, signifying that buyers are serious about breaking out of the structure, being that throughout the entire day, it closed all the way at the high, being every single hour it's getting higher and higher and higher and higher. They're willing to buy higher. We did get the gap up after that, guys, but a nice gradual pull back down to that gap, filling the gap, which we did have, right? As you when you get these gap ups, guys, 95% of gaps within the market do get filled. It's just a matter of when. So we immediately came down very, very disciplined, bounced directly off a cent of that $39 level, continued to play out in this flag, and we have seen the breakout, guys. We mentioned in the last video, if there's any way stock price doesn't emerge within the short term, it's if we reject $44. And that's what we did, guys. We came up, we rejected $44. We briefly got over it. We tested this descending resistance marker. We came down, right? We tested it one more time and flushed. But good news for the buyers, we have seen a very nice confluence on this ascending support. And right now, guys, we are very, very tight. Centering back to the intro, guys, this is really, I mean, some of the most tight action we've seen in a very, very long time. Being that there's multiple different data points moving down, right, sideways, up. I mean, we had the bull flag breakout, right? In all, we're definitely bullish. There's a much more high probability we do break to the upside, but there's a lot of confluence, guys. So we can zoom out as a technical analyst, see everything from the past, these clear indications, and say with a lot of comfortability, right, whether way this does go, we should see a very, very sizable movement, guys. As of now, stock price is curling up, trying to retest that level, which did knock us down over the last few weeks, but seeing buyers once again step up very, very disciplined on this ascending support, guys, was a very, very nice sign. To play devil's advocate, if we do drop from this ascending support, really below that $42 level, you might see some downside to occur, potentially collapsing to $39, but we are approaching that $44 level with a lot of heat, guys. If we can effectively get over that $44 area, which stock price has been very, very obviously confluencing around this zone in the past, there is a lot of upside potential, guys. Ultimately to that $48, which is the meat and potato top for this consolidation, centering back to the weekly. Each different stock, guys, is a different puzzle to look at. Sometimes you have to more analyze the weekly, being that there's a massive structural breakout, right? And that's what we're seeing on the weekly. So we'll continue to bounce around and monitor the top of this range. But as of now, we're seeing clear bullish indications, being this wide bar exiting this nice liquidity. Stock price came down, filled the gap, broke out of this flag, and we immediately seen stock price get bought up on this ascending support. So once again, guys, keep it blunt. There's a ton of confluence here, guys. You know, there is a much higher chance that we do get the breakout of 44, eventually testing 48, giving this weekly trend a run for its money, the potential to have a very, very euphoric movement. But what we can say with 100% certainty is that there will be a massive movement soon, guys. The number one story on the hourly chart, which we do have highlighted from the previous videos, being this $44 level, right? In the past, we broke out, we came down, used it as support, we bounced. We came down, used it as support, ultimately being short-lived, right? We knifed below it, tried to regain it, ultimately using it as resistance, sinking lower until double topping into a massive rejection from $44 to $39. This is when we picked up SMCI, starting to cover it, mentioning this is likely the bottom, being that we did come down and fill this perfect gap. We did end up filling that gap, getting the bounce, guys, which we did expect, mostly around that, $43 level until entering this confluent zone, briefly getting over this bull flag, looking like we're breaking out, but being short-lived, only remaining above this level around 20, 30 minutes until ultimately, once again, rejecting at $44. So you see stock price come up, accumulate within these highs, very, very patient, but ultimately closing below with this big red candlestick. You've seen the movement to the downside, guys. So obviously the question is, how does stock respond when we do reapproach these levels? Because we are, moving very, very strong in that projection. We're only roughly around $1 away from that level, guys. And if we can break over $44, guys, not only are we breaking that massive, massive level, but we're breaking out of this descending resistance, which was the top for this previous breakout, guys. So very much centering back, guys. to the hourly. This is the number one thing we want to keep in mind. Let's not overcomplicate the hourly if we don't need to. We're seeing stock price being nice, right? As far as a buyer perspective, setting these higher lows, moving up and sustaining support, but we need to get over $44. I mentioned in the last video, you're seeing almost every single bullish sign you want breaking into this. But we said, if there's any way we reject as far as a short-term perspective, it's if we top out at $44. And that's clearly what we've seen, guys. So despite all the bullish signs we've seen on almost every single time frame with the bullish divergence from the volume, from the nice big wide bar exit, right, from this channel, from the bull flag breakout, from the confluence at the top of this weekly range, we need to see that strong $44 close and hold to ultimately test the meat and potato $48 level, guys. If you found any value out of the video, consider liking and subscribing. We're going to cover SMCI a lot more closely and monitor it much more closely than we have in the past, being that we're just so tight, guys, in this important spot. Arguably the most important area on the stock since we had this very similar influence zone in the past, which did not end up well. So, we are looking a lot better from that, right? A lot more bullish signs, guys. But when stock price gets really, really tight like this SMCI, guys, you better get your popcorn, you better get your market points up, and you better keep a close eye. Consider liking, subscribing, guys. If you enjoyed the content, have a good day. Take care and peace.